Several key members of Guelph's Accessibility Advisory Committee resigned from their positions during a recent meeting. They say it comes after years of not being heard or having a say in the decisions that impact the disabled community. Let's go to CTV's Spencer Turcotte, who's been following this story for us, joining us live now with more. And Spencer, you've had a chance to speak with some of those involved.
Well, what it boils down to is the members who resigned feel their roles were performative. They say sitting on the committee was doing no good if their opinions or experiences aren't being used to better the city.
I'm stepping down from this committee effective immediately and will not be seeking reappointment.
Tensions between Guelph's Accessibility Advisory Committee and City Council reached a boiling point during a meeting last week.
Accessibility is an afterthought at best and a nuisance at worst to this city.
AAC Chair Lorelei Root resigned after years of holding that position. It wasn't just her who seems to have had enough.
It is getting exhausting for the amount of work that we're putting in just to have it disregarded. So I will be resigning in protest as well.
I also resign effective immediately in protest.
I also will not be running again for the AAC.
Several members of the Accessibility Advisory Committee resigned, with no remaining members willing to step into the newly vacant chair and vice chair positions.
I'm not seeing any hands for that. So I would think the meeting is now adjourned.
It comes after several points of contention were never resolved over the course of months and years. One of them being that AAC members feel they didn't have a say in who gets to be on the committee.
Denying a voice to a group of marginalized people who do just an inordinate amount of work for the city for absolutely free is not a good look.
And for me, that was the final straw. I asked to have a voice in my own representation, and I was denied.
Another sticking point, the AAC not being consulted on the public space use bylaw.
We were explicitly promised that that would happen before the item went to council, but we didn't get that engagement.
We were told you don't even get to sit outside the door. You can sit outside in the parking lot.
The AAC resignations come as the city says it is recruiting for vacancies on all of the recently redesigned advisory committees of council, which saw several of those committees cut or merged. The provincially mandated AAC wasn't eliminated or consolidated. Still, some members felt it was time to move on.
It was very validating to know that other people were feeling the same way, but it's also just incredibly disappointing and heartbreaking.
An emailed statement to CTV News from General Manager of City Clerks Dylan McMahon says in part, in the interim, the remaining AAC members continue to fulfill the statutory requirements of the committee under the Accessible for Ontarians with Disabilities Act. So while any legal requirements may be satisfied, many members were not. Lorelei says Guelph's disabled community will now have to band together to ensure their voices are heard through other avenues. And the deadline to apply to the Accessibility Advisory Committee was yesterday. New members for all advisory committees will then be appointed by council in the coming weeks.